Hello, Paul.
Hello, JJ.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. It's Thursday, and that is always an exciting day for me,
Yes, it is. We finally actually get to talk to one another face to face,
right?
not through random text messaging or text in general, being like, "Hey, are you alive?"
And
uh,
I see we both got the memo, and we're wearing matching hoodies.
exactly, exactly. That's
Our
what email's
DevOps
for, right?
Days Texas hoodie, which is a very
Yeah,
exclusive item of apparel.
it is. That is very true. That is very true. Um, so yes, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us. We every Thursday, Paul and I come together, and we do some cloud native stuff on this IBM developer Twitch channel. And yes, hello, I'm JJ. Or hello,
Oh, hi,
hello.
I'm Paul.
Yeah, I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud, and you are.
I am a managed OpenShift black belt at Red Hat.
Yes, yes. So we today we are planning on doing something a little bit different. At the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of the year for everybody because it's January, and we get to get some time to try new things before our companies decide to tell us what to do. So today, Paul, what are we going to do?
Yeah, so one of the things that uh, Red Hat has in their portfolio is a set of managed OpenShift products. And actually, I say in our portfolio, but they're not necessarily in our portfolio. So we have ARO, which is Azure Red Hat OpenShift. And that is actually sold by Azure, and it is co-maintained and supported by Red Hat. And we have the same thing or similar thing for AWS as well as IBM Cloud. And that's what my team is. My team is here to help customers and friends actually make best use of those managed services because
Mm-hmm.
folks aren't necessarily 100% familiar with what it looks like when someone else is managing your infrastructure for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we try and say, hey, this is the best way to use it. Here are the differences between how you might be using it on premises, and here are some of the advantages. Here's who does what, because sometimes it is a customer responsibility to do some things, and then often it is Red Hat's responsibility to do things. Most of which is done by automation,
Mm-hmm.
and when there's big issues, then SRE and other folks step in. And so one of the things I do frequently is spin up and spin down clusters. And I built out Ansible to do that for the AWS Rosa um, version of the product. But I have yet to do the same for Azure.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it might be interesting to break out our fairly rusty Ansible and skills and put that up against our fairly rusty Azure skills and see if we can blunder our way through creating uh, ARO clusters on Azure through Ansible.
Now, do the cool kids call ARO arrow, or is that
Yeah,
just because we're
I
lazy?
I bounce between ARO and Arrow and whatever,
Okay.
whichever. I'll answer to both. It's not a there's no religious war going on over it being you know cuddle or
Yeah.
control or CTL. We don't really care that much.
Nice. Nice. So so being that you use and you work with customers in both the AWS and Azure space, um, is there a consistent theme you see with companies choosing Azure over AWS, or
I
is
mean,
it just
usually it's not so much customers choosing between the two; it's the customers already having a
okay,
cloud that they're on, right?
sure,
So
sure, yeah,
most customers, especially looking at the Arrow and Rosa,
mm-hmm.
are actually already customers of Azure or customers of AWS. They've already made a commitment
Sure,
to use one or the other, or sometimes both. We have plenty of customers that
yeah,
use both,
absolutely,
right? And it's good when they use both because they have that. We give them that same interface
yep.
into. their infrastructure, right? Which is kind of the whole point of this Kubernetes thing, is to give you that unified API. And we just extend that unified API to include a lot more things from the open source and cloud native ecosystems, and to create in theory, coherent application/development platform instead of a infrastructure platform that Kubernetes is.
I thought Kubernetes was an excuse because OpenStack was too easy for us, so we needed something harder to keep our jobs. Was that wrong? No.
I'm not sure which OpenStack you're using that you think it's easy.
All right, share your screen. Let's get going here.
Sure, let's go ahead and share my screen. If I can hit the right buttons.
And for anyone watching, if you have any questions or thoughts, please don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. We are paying attention. This is going to be a fun little engineering exercise, so let's see what we get down here.
Yeah, so I work at Red Hat, and my primary operating system is Windows, which is often a surprise to folks.
Very.
And the reason I do that is because with Windows subsystem for Linux 2, Windows itself just becomes a really easy window manager for Linux.
Oh.
And so most of what I do is, most of my real work is done inside of Whistle 2. And then, obviously for things like my web browser and stuff like that, it's just whatever Windows comes with. And that's great because, a lot of folks in the enterprise world use Windows for their main workstation. And so it means I get to use the same tools as my customers, which is pretty important. And also means I get to help encourage them to understand, the advantages of actually using things like Whistle 2 to get that Linux experience, but without having to fight against, your corporate overlords and the various spyware apps they install so that they can take photos of you working and figure out if you're actually doing your job or whatever it is that they do these days.
I do want to throw in that you just walked right past it. You're running Windows 11, not just Windows, but Windows 11, which is just bonkers.
Yeah, so actually the reason I use Windows 11 is because the version of Whistle 2 that comes with it actually supports X forwarding. So I can actually run GUI apps inside of Linux, and they just show up as Windows. And that's pretty useful because if I'm, if say I want to, if I want to VPN into somewhere from Linux, I sometimes need like the AWS VPN GUI in Linux, because if I try and run it in Windows, then there's all sorts of weird tunneling I have to do for the right network to get through the right place. And so it gives me things there. I can also say do a SSH SOX proxy tunnel or a SSH a shuttle VPN. And if I'm doing that inside of Linux, I then can get my Linux traffic through those. So yeah.
All right. Not bad.
So we've got a couple of things going on here. So I have my VS Code, because we're going to be doing a lot of YAML and stuff. I figured I'd use VS Code instead of fighting Vim paste issues constantly that we usually face. And so this is VS Code running in Windows, but using its SSH plugin to access the files on our tmux box. And so if I have a tmux, I have a tmux section here. So all of the commands I run as we're testing this will be from the tmux box and just against the files that we're modifying. And then I mentioned that I have Ansible playbooks for Rosa. So I basically took a dump of those, and I'm going to use the same skeleton/framework to sort of build out the ones for ARO. So as I go through, you'll see I have existing roles, and we're just going to more or less clear those roles out and go through and rewrite them for Azure.
Perfect.
There is a bunch of Azure modules, and so let me pull this across for Ansible. And so it's the Microsoft Azure collection inside of Ansible. You can pass credentials through to it and stuff, but I think we already have logged in, so it should just work.
Yep.
And we'll deal with it if it doesn't. And then you can see standard Ansible things to create stuff. And so I think we'll be able to create everything we need except for maybe the actual Arrow cluster, because the Arrow cluster is if you're using AZCLI, you use the AZCLI to do it. But I imagine there's not a
Resource?
Ansible resource for it yet.
Really?
And I'm just guessing. I haven't actually even looked. So if I actually switch, if I switch to here, this is the Azure AZ collection, and so we can actually do ARO. Yes, and there is not one.
Look up Kubernetes. Maybe they don't.
Well, so there's an AKS one.
Oh.
But there is not a ARO.
Is that like Beanstalk?
AKS?
Where it's like, yeah, AKS.
No, AKS is Azure Kubernetes. So it's EKS or GKE.
Yeah, no, I thought AKS, the Kubernetes service, is like you give them the container like Beanstalk where it just runs it. No, it's like IKS. It's like a full Kubernetes.
Yeah. It's a full but mostly vanilla Kubernetes.
Okay.
And so
nothing for OpenShift.
Right. So Azure sells AKS and Arrow, and so depending on what the Azure customer wants, they can push them towards either of those things. But whoever manages the Azure Ansible collections obviously hasn't. Probably because there's a bunch. There's like the ARO itself, and then there are some plugins for extra features, and I bet the Arrow stuff is in a plugin, and they haven't done the plugins yet.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because with IBM, our plugins, we just tell you the version. We like our OpenShift is just another version of Kubernetes, so we just use the same Kubernetes resource and point to a different version and expect eventually. No. Oh, okay.
No. You're not going to be that lucky.
Okay. It's how we do it over here at IBM. So
sure. So we'll get most of the way there, and if we don't run out of time, we can actually shell to the to call the ARO CLI to do the cluster install, and then we can leave that as a to-do item to maybe look and see how difficult it would be to create a plugin.
Yeah,
but that will require writing a bunch of Python, which, as we discovered the other week, we're not the best at.
Really not. Really not. I actually started doing a boot camp because I was so embarrassed by it.
Right. So I feel like with these two docs, we should be able to figure out most of what we need to actually get things running. So now I'll show you. So my team's got a website called mob.ninja because we are the managed OpenShift black belts, which is mob for short. And
he's a very attractive man.
Wow, look at that guy. Look at his hair. Wow, I know, he should get a haircut.
Jeez. Really should. He's a hippie.
So we have really simple instructions on how to actually deploy a cluster. And so I figure we're just going to run through this. And anytime we see a command that looks like we should run it, we'll go ahead and run it. So we already have the Azure CLI. I think you are logged in. So we can probably run this command right here. That.
Ooh.
Right.
Already. That's not good. Module not Oh, I probably don't have the plugins. Did you need like the compute plugin or whatever?
I mean, I don't think so.
For AZ, you've got to like do like install compute or whatever.
Yeah, that should be like by default, unless.
Yeah, AZ compute module install. I think it is.
How did you install the CLI? Did you not just do it using DNF?
I don't remember. I really don't remember. Give me a second.
All right. Well, you figure out what we need there.
Yep.
And I will hop down.
Here, I'll create another window and just do the stuff in there. Or can you see the other window that I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Oh, crap. Never mind.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
Tmux. That's how it works.
Shh. I know these things.
But you don't have to put passwords in or anything, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, so you should be fine to. So let's see if I can do AZ root list.
Try AZ upgrade real quick. Yes. Give me a second. I do this up on purpose. You know this.
Right. This also might be because we're inside of a virtual env.
Oh, maybe.
And so we'll see if
But you're
this
right.
helps.
The compute should be there.
Right.
No reason why. Yeah.
Do you want to maybe look for running the AZ CLI in a virtual env and see if it gives us any hints? And while you do that, I'll just kind of show more of what I'm doing. So this is Ansible, obviously. I do like to run Ansible in a virtual env because I can then easily capture everything that's there. And so there's obviously, I have a requirements.txt, which gets all the basics for Ansible, OpenShift, a few other bits and pieces. And then there's a couple of things I haven't put in there yet because I just found them. And so I threw them in. I've got a make file. So my virtual env is here. And so I have to install the Azure AZ collection. And then I have to install the requirements for that. Oh, well, that's getting better.
Yep. I'm gonna stop sharing your screen real quick. Easy login. Give me a second. Stop being a dick. Sorry, Paul. I thought we was just taken care of.
It's fine.
It wouldn't be one of our streams if we didn't have something blatantly obvious
Right?
in our way.
Now, is it able to see that you've done it from?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. All right, nice.
That's what I was trying to get away from.
I don't think it showed anything too scary.
Okay.
Come on, give us a response. All right.
Yay! There we go.
So we're probably good.
We're back. We're back. And we're back.
So we just ran that list usage, and that makes sure that we are authenticated. Now there's a bunch of variables, one of which is a pull secret. JJ, do you remember how to get a pull secret?
You got to go to console.redhat.com.
Yeah, so
it's saying that
it's right here.
It's console, not cloud. It's console.
Oh, you're right. It is changed. Do you want to grab a token and stick it in a file, and that way I don't have to stick it on the screen.
Yep.
And then again, I will just move on. So we got our virtual env. We've got our Azure bits in there. So we should now be able to look at what we need to do. So we need a Azure resource group, and then we need some networks. So first of all, let's figure out how to do an Azure resource group. And we will come up to, I have a infra create playbook, of which I have pasted those the variables that I have in the shell on the left, just for reference. And you can see, I think the only two I need for the initial infra is these two. And so we're going to pop down to tasks and come to main. You can see we have a bunch of stuff here that is from EC2. We don't need any of that right now. So we're going to do create a group. And we'll paste the CLI command above commented out, just so we remember what we're doing. And then we will look at our docs. We will look at our docs. Right, and then so resource group. Well, that's super interesting. Their basic examples doesn't tell you how to create a resource group, so we'll come to resource spell group. So here we go. We can create a resource group with this guy.
And you got your pull secret as pull secret text.
Nice. So hopefully we have examples. It tells you how to do tags and stuff. We don't really care about tags. We just want to. Let's grab this. Actually, let's take the whole thing. So we have a name, and the name is resource group, and then Azure location. And we don't care about tags. We just do state present. So that should get us our first thing. And so we have a playbook called create cluster, and you can see I've commented everything out, but the infra create, and then so in our make file we have a create here. We don't need those ones, but it's just this right here. So I should be able to run make create, and we'll see what happens. And we have already failed because I don't know the first thing about Ansible. And JJ, you know exactly what I've done wrong here. Tell me what I've done wrong here.
You have not imported your variables?
I have not put my variables in quotes. I run that again.
Huzzah!
It will. What?
In the task main.yaml.
I do have variables. Hold on. No, I'm looking for.
Yeah, there's no variables there.
Oh, yeah, there are. They're just Azure, not AZR. At Azure Resource Group, Azure Location. So we're already off to a flying start.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less from us.
The provided location OpenShift is not available. How did I end up with that as a location? Am I really this bad at doing my job? Wow. I really am this bad at doing my job. How do I even live?
A pull request in to fix your documentation.
You just making fun of me. But at least that looks better. Okay. Look at this.
Hey. So it's too.
Oh, interesting.
Too new.
I mean, it's working, but it's expecting a different version. So we'll see what happens if it freaks out.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd want to destroy the virtual environment, create a new one because we updated Azure CLI. So now it's
No,
all
no. I think
pretty like no.
I think this is just the Ansible is expecting 2.10, and we have 2.20. So as long as it's
Okay.
full, as long as it's mostly backwards compatible, we'll be fine. It's just a warning.
Okay.
All right. So we have a resource group, and so if we do AZ group list, we should see resource group called OpenShift, which we do.
Hey.
So we're already on our way. So back to our tasks at hand. So we have a resource group, and the next things we need to do is a couple of VNets. And so again, I'm going to paste these above the commands.
Seems reasonable.
So we have a virtual network, and then we have two subnets
Mm-hmm.
in that virtual network. And so now we come back to our doc here, and then we do VNet virtual network. Funny, this is so Azure Resource Manager, right? So it's Azure
Mm-hmm.
RM. So I immediately think these are the plugins to like delete things
Yep.
because of
Yep.
RM,
Yep. Yep.
but they're definitely not that. Okay, so we need a virtual network, and then we'll also need a subnet. So these are our next steps. So let's just grab, we'll start with their example.
Examples are usually helpful.
And paste this in. Network. And then so
Yep.
we want our resource group. And then we want this to be, so we should probably set a variable,
Yep. And a name.
Azure Virtual Network. Oh, look at this. There's some
Hey.
GitHub autopilot magic.
But what license did that come with?
Yeah, well, that's right. It comes with the I decided I don't give a shit license. So let's
Oh,
just
that's
go ahead
awesome.
and call
That's
this
awesome.
OpenShift VNet. Why not? So we're going to do this dot name. Look at that. Finishes that.
Nice.
And then we have here, it actually gives us the prefix side that we want. And so we can pop this back into here. Up. And then we should go to do dot address prefix. Whoa, look at that.
Huzzah.
And then we can do the same for here. DNS servers. And then amazing. Now, the other thing is we have these tags. And so maybe we should actually go ahead and do tags like that. And then do the same here. And then tags. And then tags are an array, so we'll call it this, and we'll do create.
You want to do some pretty good.
Whoa! Look at that.
Ah,
It even figured out I want to do created by and the name of the playbook or the name of the project. Incredible. So we'll just start with that for now. Is that
but wait, it doesn't need to be a list. You need the dashes.
no? It's
No.
look, if you look on the left in the example
Oh yeah.
there,
Oh, well, my bad. My bad.
it's there's an object, and I'm pretty sure Ansible will figure out the objects and stuff in the task keys. So I think we can go ahead and run this. Go back to make create. Now it will hopefully modify our resource group. Yeah-oh.
API version is not available.
Okay. That's fun. So let's just do this. Make sure the CLI works. LS, really? Really, Paul? LS? So this is an interesting one.
You want to scroll up. You do the Control B. You want me to do it?
No, I got it. I'm
Right.
just hitting the wrong button. So I'm not very good at my job. Well, this is fun. So let's see if we can do this. So Python, Azure Virtual Networks, Python, Azure Virtual Network, error.
Wrong version of Ansible. Hey, according to Dark Sky, it's raining or it's snowing in my house right now.
Ooh, you should look out your window and confirm it.
Nope. But in 30 minutes, it's going to be a medium amount of snow.
Ooh. So he's running without the collection qualifier and he doesn't get a failure.
With the collection qualifier, that's the facts at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's, oh, we're not using that. So let's pop back to, what was it? Azure.az collection. Is that right? Is that how you do that? See what happens. No, same issue. Oh, isn't this fun?
Mm-hmm. This is the life of an engineer nowadays.
Pip3 lists. This. Oh, maybe this is the. Maybe that warning is the issue here. 700.
No, that's
Nope.
4 versions.
Here we go.
It's telling you to roll back.
Yeah, here we go.
That's a significantly older version, right?
Yeah.
It
So
looks like it's figured it out though, so that's okay.
let's throw this into here.
Do you have
I want
that
that.
already in there?
That. No,
Put a
this was.
put a link to that thread in this requirements as a comment too, because you're
You're
gonna
a
be like, what the?
smart man.
Because I know in a drunken hack session in the future, you're gonna be like, what the hell is this doing
Right?
here? You're gonna spend 45 minutes trying to find the reason why.
Yeah. I wonder if we should do.
Oh, they broke. Shit. You have to roll back the Azure Management 400 to something different. Oh, you already put in the requirement, so it's now trying to do it correctly.
No, because I'm not doing from requirements. I'm just doing. So I just did Azure Management. It should be Azure Management itself. No? How did. All right. This. Last thing I just did. That one again. Wow.
I think you're in a circle here, my friend. If I got what I see happening, it smells like a
Yeah.
circle.
See, here's the thing. I don't see straight up Azure Management in my list of tips.
Hmm.
I wonder if. All right, let's have a look at. What if we do pip uninstall Azure? Actually, what is just straight Azure? Okay. Pip install Azure equals 500. Mm-hmm. Wait, there.
Right there. Yeah.
Good.
Excuse me. Destroy the virtual environment and
I mean,
run the
that is
requirements
my
again.
next step, but I was hoping
Oh,
not to
this
do
week.
that
I mean,
because
it's
that'll
got to be
take
repeatable, right?
time. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Equals 500. And I can comment that out. Okay, so let's deactivate. Let's move virtual env to virtual env dot two, and then do make virtual env. So make virtual env is going to create the virtual env, and then it's going to do the pip install.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to stop it from doing that. I think I might want to do, where's my make file? Come back up here. I'm going to hold off on those two. And hey, Max Corvito, you're welcome. I'm not sure we are doing a great job right now, but I think it's more, it's definitely Python and pip that's at fault here. It's definitely not us,
That
for
is
sure,
correct.
right?
That is correct.
And Full Snabble, thank you for noticing. I did indeed get a haircut. I actually made a brief stop at a pretty epic mullet. And oh boy.
Wah wah wah. I don't. The hell does that even mean?
File.
Make the window big. Like make it big. Azure
Oh, I wonder if what it wants us to do is do these
individually.
as their individuals.
Ugh.
It's fine. Let me take us a moment. Let's rerun this. I feel like this is every time I do a new Ansible repo, I
Mm-hmm.
fight Ansible dependencies, pip dependencies, and other things for at least a few hours.
It's a rite of passage.
It
It's you're
is. It
doing.
is.
It's.
We even had a Python version error on the underlying OS's Python version, but I was able to work around that with a environment variable.
Oh, nice.
Uh, Can I?
You. It's trying to install Rust.
Oh, I have seen this before,
The hell is it
and
trying to
that's
install? What?
so Python ripped out a bunch of cryptography stuff in favor of some stuff that comes in via Rust. But then you need like a full Rust development environment now to do stuff, or at least that's what
What?
I could figure out. Yeah, I know
What?
it seems bananas, and that's what this argument right here I think was fixing uh, for me. So let's go ahead and run.
They just. They hate us. They
Yes, they do.
genuinely hate us.
Ugh. Uh, uh, oh,
Pip 3 upgrade.
upgrade. Oh, I have to do. No, there it is.
That's a really old version of Pip. That could have actually been one of the problems with the installation.
Uh huh. Yeah, it's because whatever this is, CentOS or whatever, right? We just get what it gives us.
But by the way, I finally figured out how to install other OSs onto machines on the IBM cloud. So if there's a machine or OS that you want like sent to a stream or something, I can actually finally do that. So you're not as excited as I thought you would be, but I guess that's okay.
Sorry, it's not that I'm not excited. It's just I'm not paying attention because I'm thinking about what I'm doing. You can install other OSs, you said?
Yes, I can boot into the IPMI and actually get some of the bare metal boxes that I have in different OSs now.
Cool.
Yeah. Again, not as excited as I thought you were going to be.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to just install Nix on everything now, and we're only going to use Nix going forward.
I hate you.
You know you miss me.
Do I?
At least that's what I tell myself. Yay, compiling code.
Okay.
Not
So the
bad.
next thing that I called, so first of all, let's do dot activate, just so I'm definitely in the right spot. And so next we need the Ansible Galaxy collection. It is already installed. And then it mentions this fella right here. So let's look at what this is. Oh, look at this. This is the one that's being very specific about some versions, but it doesn't mention network, right?
Correct.
So we might be okay to do this. But we might do is grab these here. Into requirements.txt. Now let's look at what just showed up in requirements.txt. No, I did see network here, 12.0, which was way less than what we had. So let's grab this out. Let's say from here, so we remember how we got to this list based on your excellent idea about doing comments. So now we can do pip install dash r requirements text.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but something weird just
Incredible.
happened. My headphones all of a sudden decided to pick up something else. This is really weird. So I'm sorry if all of a sudden you got weird music coming through the sound. Nope. Okay, cool.
Nope. You must have just maybe something else is connected to your headphones Bluetooth wise.
Maybe, I don't know. This is weird.
All right. So let's go
Hey,
back
nice.
to make create. and see if, oh no.
Music separated. 15.
Uh,
Are you not are you continuing the line correctly? There's the 2 lines.
wait, where's the 2 lines?
What's at the end of 14? So I can't see all the way to 14.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, you
For
need to
this
scroll.
for this particular file, we need tabs.
Oh, stupid make being make.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. Green's good. Green is
Well,
good.
that's still just the resource group. Aha! We now have a virtual network.
I like it.
So now we can pop back to our tasks and continue down the list. So next we need a VNet, and so a subnet, sorry. And so we start with our first subnet here. Here, just come down to a example. Right. For free. Should figure out this for us. So we need to know our VNet. And so we have a control VNet and a address prefix and service endpoints, but we don't need to modify the service endpoints there. We just need to figure out what it is down here. So we've got our virtual name. So we just need to do a name here for, so this I think is where we might do ARO control subnet.
It's taking all the fun out of it.
Wow.
It's taking all the fun out of it.
And then we have a
I need
cider to put
45
in,
minutes more of reading documentation, please.
right? Azure ARO. Dude, what?
Is that tab complete, by the way, to finish it?
Yeah. So yeah, now we can switch to here and fix these. No. Here. Control subnet. Machine subnet. Machine. Machine. And then we need to find service endpoints is a list. We only have one, so wow, we figured that out. Anything else in here we have? Name and address cider. Wow. All right. So let's go ahead and make create. So we've already got the resource group and the virtual network. Now we're going to get the two subnets.
That's the hope. That looks right. Nope. String. Did you put it in quotes?
I'm going to build model, object type. What's it trying to deserialize?
Open shift control sub.
Object type, attribute data string, object has. All right, well, let's look at the example again. Service endpoint is a list. Oh, maybe actually it should be.
Yeah, not a. Yeah.
No, I don't think that's right though. It should be. Oh, hang on. It's a list of elements. Okay, so maybe it is this.
Yep.
Service. That might be what we need here. And then there's actually, before we move on, there was one other thing. It's telling us to disable network. So link service network policies disabled. I need this on the
Yep.
private link service network policies. Private link service network policies disabled. That's just on the control plane. Let's try this again. Oh, really?
Capital D.
God, I love you. I love you so much, computer.
That's probably a good place to stop.
Well, we have to make sure.
Yeah.
Make sure it works.
Of course.
Oh, that looks better. That's nearly better. Oh, hang on. Virtual network name. What? It's not valid in virtual network OpenShift VNet. Wait, why not? Invalid subnet. If Exciter is correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hang on. Something. going on here? Oh no, I think I screwed up when I was pasting here. That should be better. So we might need to. Hopefully, it'll fix it.
Yeah.
If not, we might need to delete that first subnet.
Yeah, I would imagine you wouldn't be able to overwrite the IP space after you created it.
Yeah, okay.
That seems
AZ VNet.
resourced. Oh.
I mean, I can just look at it. Dash G is OpenShift. VNet name was OpenShift VNet. And then for the name,
Maybe. Wasn't
I
it
was
like that?
thinking, so that's probably a good thing. All right, so now I think we can just rerun. Wait, create. Yeah, so I think those subnets were conflicting, which they can't overlap because they're in the same virtual network.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Invalid subnet. Maybe. Oh, I don't know how I did that. I was pasting the wrong bits in the wrong place. Let me just do this. We don't even need DNS servers in there. So let's
Hello there,
use
Hawk4031.
that.
Thanks for joining us.
DNS server. Let's retry. See how good it is at updating existing resources.
Hopefully, pretty good. That's the hope.
Yeah, I think I accidentally copied from the example into the variables instead of copying from the actual command line that I wanted the example to use. So my subnets were all off.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it is.
Yellow's good. Hey!
Yellow is good. And then that's actually it, apart from this fella. And so in theory, we could do name ph arrow cluster shell. We just
You gotta do the little pipey dude, right? Yeah.
that.
And then
Do
paste
that.
it. Yeah.
Right, and so we replace that.
Is there a no wait command? You can just fire it and forget it?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Arrow cluster VNet is this. Master subnet is subject name. And pull secret is which is pull secret text. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even a variable.
Yep, that is correct. It should be just there.
Right. I think this is all correct. I need to set this variable here.
Seems reasonable.
Right.
Thanks, computer, doing my job for me.
And then I think AZ arrow create dash H. We put dash N for no wait, or is it? Yeah,
Dash no. Yeah.
dash no wait. Right. So let's go ahead and run that.
Hang on. But go back real quick. Go back to the thing. It tried to say that something disabled under that line 54. Sorry, line 54. Tab over. Is that important?
No.
Okay.
It's I think because we had that above, it thinks we want it here as well.
Well, I mean, it's guessed pretty much everything else. I figured, why not? By default, what are the size of the machines?
Oh, I can't remember.
Are they like reasonable, or are they?
Yeah, they're decent sizes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We get 3 control plane and a couple of
invalid pull secret. Period.
Interesting.
So
oh, just pull secret, no dash.
My bad.
No, my bad for making assumptions. Really? Still? Do the full. Look at this. What's that doing there? Oh, that's just me copying and pasting, maybe.
So for people watching, if you have any thoughts or comments, please don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. If everything goes to plan, we should have a Ansible playbook. Oh, that looks good. Ish.
Now, if we do AZ arrow list, you see an OpenShift in the middle of creating.
Huzzah!
Now, to finish this off, you know one of my favorite things about Azure?
I do. You can just delete the resource group and everything goes.
Yep.
And that is unbelievably powerful.
What do we call it? OpenShift.
Yep. And it overwrites like in state. So even though it's in creating state, you'd be like, no, delete, and it's for the work we do, it is
so good.
So good. Why can't other clouds have it?
So that's it. We actually did everything we wanted to do.
let's not make this a thing, because then I would be
right?
worried about us.
So here's some stuff. Is there's probably a few more things we should variabilize, like the pull secret
Mhm.
should be a variable. And then there are options to do private clusters and public clusters. So there's some variables we can do there. And if we do a private cluster, then we need to be able to get to it. So we might need
Mhm.
to create a jump host. And so there's probably at least one more stream worth of futzing around with this. So maybe next Thursday we'll tackle some of that.
Seems like a plan to me.
Nice. Oh, and the other thing is we do need to make this last command idempotent.
Yes, that is true.
Because it probably isn't. So we probably need to do like an AZ arrow list and look for the name. And if the name exists, do nothing. If it doesn't exist, then do the create.
But that would be. Can you? Let's start there. Let's start there next week, because I'd be curious to like, I have an idea of how I would do it, but I'd be
Mm-hmm.
curious to see what your default way of going to that path is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
we will do that. Cool. Well,
Say bye, Paul.
bye, Paul.